Well, I'm Alan Dale from Gale Force Winds. What a pleasure it is to be here with the Atlantic Canadian Aerospace and Defense Association at the Maritime Arctic Safety and Security Conference 2025. An incredible couple of days here. Great collaboration, great conversations. Thank you to our good friends at the Ship Stop Here initiative for bringing this entire thing alive. I love meeting these folks one by one. And on that note, why don't you introduce yourself, sir? Tell us what you do.
Hi, it's John Schmidt, President of Federal Fleet Services. We own and operate the MV Asterix, Canada's only combat support ship in support of the Navy and our NATO allies. We operate around the world 365 days a year in support of the needs of the various navies.
John, I don't want so many for the specifics, but how many missions have you guys done since the Navy's taken you on?
I don't.
A lot of RASs, eh?
A lot of well, we just surpassed, I believe, our 550th RAS, which is a replenishment at sea. That's when we transfer fuel ship to ship.
Wow.
And recently we were operating for the first time above the Arctic Circle, working with Scandinavian and U.S. partners, where we performed 33 RASs in 14 days. So it was busy. And we also had cargo transfers and ELOOPs and so on. So we're out there busy doing the job and proud of it, proud to support the Navy and be part of the defense of Canada.
John, it's a unique thing, the Asterix. There's sailors on there, there's civilian crew on there. Break down how all that works.
Yeah, well, so we work in what we call an integrated crew, and our motto is one ship, one team, one mission. And literally, it's more than just a motto. It's a mantra, and it's an objective for all of us to operate in that manner. So we have the civilians, who are my employees, or our employees, who are commercial mariners, and they do the watchkeeping on the deck and in the engine room. And the Navy has up to 130 mission specialists on board the ship, and they do the actual RAS, replenishment at sea operations, the cargo transfer, the helicopter operations. They operate the hospital. We have a hospital on board, a dentist, and all the other missions that we would do. We often carry folks from the Army around to do land operations. So we're available to the Navy to do whatever mission they need, as well as humanitarian as required.
Wow. And John, I've had the pleasure of being on board Asterix. I've witnessed it firsthand. It's an incredible operation to watch unfold. I've watched them go into some battle-style activities where there's doing force protection on ship. The Navy's doing their bit, civilian crews doing their bit. What is the recipe? What is that secret sauce? How are you so able to make it work?
Well, I think, it's not so much a secret sauce. It's having a capability on board ship, or having a ship that's capable, and having a Navy that's highly trained, highly motivated, and also highly capable, and having the procedures and protocols and processes in place. We do training together. Believe it or not, our guys learn how to fire the gun too, and so it's a throwback to what the way we operated in World War II with the merchant mariners, supporting the Navy and the Allies in World War II. So we're really able to provide that service on an interim basis as required by the Navy, and we're under a contract, under a lease agreement, and we have certain performance objectives that we need to meet with the Navy. And we monitor how we do every day, and we're also incentivized to operate in an efficient manner. And if we do so, we actually split the savings in our contract with the RCN.
Wow!
So let's say we have a budget of $10 million, and at the end of the year, we spend $9,990,000, and we split the savings between. We give the government back money. So.
Wow.
It's a unique contract. It's very commercial oriented, and I think it's a model going forward that as we are such a huge demand in sailors, that we need to replicate in other services, not just for the Navy but for the Coast Guard and fisheries as well. Especially now that the Coast Guard, future, will be coming under the command of the RCN, perhaps. I believe that's the long-term objective right now.
Right. You know, a lot of signaling from the leadership of the country that big spending coming, increase in defense spending. How do you see yourselves positioned in all of that?
Yeah, well, so we have always said to the government, so we're in the last portion of our lease, 3 years. We'll be, theoretically, we're up in 2028, it's January 2028. We're already talking about extending that. So our desire would be to extend that. That's up to the government. Excuse me, it's up to the RCN, how much they'll need us in the future and so on. But it leads us to also have to talk to other navies who have expressed interest in having a capability such as Asterix. And I think it's recognized around the world, specifically at the NATO tables, that you can never have enough replenishment vessels, supply ships. You know that yourself, Al, being former Navy. And so we need to be able to offer our services because we're very cost effective.
Right.
In fact, in reality, the cost to maintain, let's say, a JSS is roughly the cost of what it'll cost the government to operate us for a year.
Yeah.
So, we're very cost effective, and I think that if you want to make budgets stretch, you want to put more money into shipbuilding, then what you really need to look at is alternative service delivery,
Right.
which allows the private sector to provide a capability at a much cost effective, I hate to use the word cheaper, at a much more cost effective price than the government can do so directly. And there's a limitation for the government too, because we're all struggling, or will be struggling, to get more sailors on our ships. We can build a fleet of 20 or 30 more ships, but we need the operators too out. And we're also competing with the other forces for people as well. The Army and the Air Force need people as well.
Yeah, and Asterix has proven this model truly works. And as I look to the future, and Canada builds JSS and the like, there's not to say that there's not room for all of this. It's good to have a couple in your own garage, but you working with an arrangement like Federal Fleet's also good to have in your arsenal as well, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So I often tell you, it's like energy. It's not one or the other. We need all of it.
We need all of it, and especially if we're going to be operating in the Arctic. So, for example, we heard today, and we had a great panel with the senior leadership of the Army, Air Force, and Navy. What a great opportunity, and Coast Guard, to hear everybody on stage and hear what their problems are, focus on the Arctic. And of course, one of the problems of the Arctic, and has always been a problem, is getting fuel and supplies up there. Mm-hmm. We have a supply ship, surprise.
Yeah.
So what is wrong with, say, for example, of having a supply ship that's permanently up there, providing the fuel on a rotating basis, right? Fuel, and so let's say it's Asterix 2 up there, full of fuel, full of cargo, ready to go. As our vessels become available in that area, we do the cargo transfers, we do the RAS, and then ship number 2 comes and replaces it sort of on a shuttle service, shuttle tanker service. They do that now with fuel barges, but it's very inefficient, and the fueling barges are there mainly to support the communities. And I think one of the big complaints from the communities is, hey, are you taking fuel away from us because you want to be in the Arctic? We need to walk the talk and demonstrate to them that we're bringing our own fuel in support of operations for them as well. So I think we need to think on a little bigger picture on how we do things. And we need to let industry come to the table with solutions in a commercial manner, as opposed to relying solely on government procurement process.
Well, I want to tell you, John, there's not many successes like Asterix and Federal Fleet. What they've done for the Canadian Navy over the last number of years is truly incredible, and it speaks to the team that you have around you. I've met the sailors that serve on that ship, and they go to work every day as if they are in the service of Canada.
That's correct, Al.
And they are.
They're proud, and I'm happy to say that 80% of my staff, my crew, comes from the Maritimes, and I think we're at 65% from Newfoundland.
There you go.
And they're the best sailors in the world.
There you have it. An absolute pleasure to have you on, John. Thanks for
Thank you so much,
thanks for the
Al.
conversation and doing what you do.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.